And with that, you will all be treated to your first PowerPoint of the day. So again, my name is Randy Solomon, and I am the co-director along with Donna Giroux of Sustainable Jersey, and also of the Sustainability Institute here at the College of New Jersey. And there we go. We are extremely excited to be launching Sustainable Jersey for Schools. We spend a lot of our time dealing with elected officials, municipal staff who don't always have their minds as open as children. And we have done an amazing job of motivating them, harnessing sort of the grassroots power at the local level to implement sustainability and to move these towns forward. But I think, I don't want to be too cliche, but the cliche is so real and so true right now that if we can't involve children, and both as a motivation for adults, but also involve them in promulgating the solutions for our sustainable future, we're not going to be sustainable. So I think, the Sustainable Jersey for Schools program is going to be an extremely important complement to what's already happening at the municipal level. And I think it'll also open new doors for cooperation among municipalities and schools. So what is Sustainable Jersey? And what is this municipal program that's so successful that we're going to try to emulate? In a nutshell, you all know that it's a certification program. But the basics of it are, it's a program that looks to empower communities by providing choices and guidance on best practices for sustainability. The program is bottom up and not top down, so the actions and the standards and the resources are things that we will create together through the process that we're launching here today. It's voluntary and incentives-based, so although we've got state agencies and others as our partners, this is always going to be based on providing incentives and motivation, and it's always carrots, never sticks. There's no cost to join and no penalty to withdraw. And the program offers meaningful incentives and strategies to help municipalities lower their costs and improve quality of life. As mentioned before, and as will be mentioned again, it has many partners, including state agencies, the New Jersey League of Municipalities, many nonprofits, lots of experts and academics. And that's for the municipal side. The school side will be different. And Sustainable Jersey, although it's run out of the College of New Jersey, and that's where the staff are, and that's where Donna and I reside, it's run, and the authority and the strategic decision-making rests with a nonprofit organization that has a board of trustees. And on that board of trustees sit many representatives, not just of municipalities, but now also of schools. So it is a certification program, though, and it's got three components. First is it identifies actions to help towns become more sustainable. This is the ordinances, the programs, the policies, the buildings and operations. So what is it that municipalities and now schools could and should do to be more sustainable? Second, it provides the tools and resources and the guidance for them to make progress. So it's not just enough to sit back and say, you should do this, you should do that. You have to explain exactly how to do it. You have to provide vetted and tested and workable best practices that they can implement. And then finally, you have to provide incentives and resources to do it. Just because you tell them how to do it and what to do doesn't mean they've got the capacity. Municipalities and schools both are very resource constrained, and so the program provides a lot of incentives in the form of grants to enable them to make progress. Since the program was founded and launched in 2009, as Pam Mount mentioned, there are 389 municipalities that have registered with the program. To register essentially means the local governing body has passed a resolution stating their intent to get certified, stating their intent to become sustainable generally, and appointing someone to be the official liaison to the program. Once they do that, they have to form a green team that manages their efforts locally, and then they have to actually implement actions. And once they've implemented enough of the actions, they submit them to us for review. They have to submit documentary evidence that they've implemented the actions, and then upon review and review of them, they can get certified. And to date, there are 116 municipalities in the state that are certified. And these municipalities are urban, suburban, rural, large and small. They range from places like Patterson and Camden and Jersey City to Woodbine and Lower Alloways Creek and everything in between. So this is a program that works for everybody. So what are all these folks doing? And what is it that we mean by sustainability? Well, sustainability at its core means thinking about the future. It means preserving our quality of life into the future and recognizing that there are economic, social, and environmental issues that need to be managed, need to be addressed if we're going to maintain our quality of life over the long term. So in a nutshell, sustainability just means acting today as if the future mattered. So just to be different, we took the two E's and an S, economy, environment, and society, and we called it prosperity, planet, and people. Alliteration, it sounds better, why not? But you can see that the actions are divided into these three categories. And what you're seeing is a screenshot of some of the actions. There are over 120 in total. And as you can see, each one has a point value. And on our website, if you were to click on any one of those actions, you would get a complete guidance manual that explains to you exactly how to implement it. And if you were to print that whole thing out, it would be a stack about yay big. So I advise against printing it. Do it online. There are two levels of certification, bronze and silver. For bronze, you have to get at least 150 points. You have to have a green team. And you have to get 2 of 7 priority actions. And in a nutshell, you'll see that these actions also are organized by subcategory. So we have, in the top left, energy efficiency and food and local economies and operations and maintenance. So the point of that is to say that you can't just rack up points in one area where you might be comfortable. Let's say you're really good at managing your facilities. You have to spread it around to get the full breadth of sustainability. What I just described as the sustainability categories. So you have to get 6 of the 16 sustainability categories that I just mentioned. You also have to get a certain number of priority actions, and real simple, those are just things that we happen to think are very important. And so, again, to make sure people address some of the key issues and some things that we think are very useful to do, you have to get a certain number of priority actions. Silver is similar. You have to get 350 points, though. You have to get 3 of 7 priority actions, and you have to address 8 of the 16 sustainability categories. If you get certified, that doesn't mean you're sustainable, doesn't mean you're done. Bronze means that you are committed to sustainability and you have succeeded in implementing your first significant sustainability actions. Silver means you're beyond getting started and you're making significant progress in a number of areas and you're a statewide leader and probably a national leader. We don't have gold yet, but in the future, gold will actually mean you are sustainable, or more precisely, you're performing at a level such that if everyone performed at the same level as you, collectively we'd be sustainable, or collectively we'd be meeting and addressing our most pressing issues. I mentioned that there's only one mandatory action. You have to have a green team. This is incredibly important and a real strength of the program. We don't care if you call it a green team. You can call it a sustainability commission or a Vision 2020 committee, but you have to have a formal body of local government. In this case, it's municipalities. For schools, it'll be different. But for the municipal case, a body of local government appointed by the governing body that's charged with leading your efforts towards Sustainable Jersey certification. And we strongly recommend that the green team be representative of the community. So it's got representatives of schools, the business community, local elected officials, staff, other boards and commissions. And this becomes the hub of activity for these communities. And going back to this map, I think it's really amazing if you think about the fact that there are literally now hundreds of new bodies of local government, formal bodies of local government, charged with pursuing sustainability in in communities around the state. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that this is a minor revolution in sustainability in New Jersey. So why is this so successful? Why are all these municipalities doing it? There are a number of benefits to getting certified. First is to save money and get money. So essentially, implementing a lot of these actions saves you money, things like energy efficiency and waste management. Getting certified gets you access to grants. I'll talk briefly about those in a minute. And being in the program gives you significant access to training and guidance. We have educational sessions, workshops, webinars, a hotline. You can send us emails about specific topics and we will help you. You can also get recognized and promote your municipality. So we work very hard to make essentially good policy into good politics and to reward local elected officials and green teams that are making progress. And of course, last but not least, is doing the right thing. Conserving resources, being more sustainable, protecting the environment, all the good things that come along with that. Some brief examples of cost-saving actions, things that you can do to your buildings to save energy, managing municipal fleets, green purchasing, which also often saves money, solar power, waste reduction strategies, and then there's a lot of things that municipalities are doing, not just with their facilities, but to help the rest of the community, the residents and the businesses in the community, pursue all these strategies as well. In addition to, in our actions, in addition to just giving best practices and saying how to do it, we try to link wherever possible to our partners. And one of our biggest partners is the Board of Public Utilities. And this is one example. A lot of the actions that you implement in Sustainable Jersey also come with money because you will be implementing essentially the Board of Public Utilities clean energy programs to make your buildings more efficient. And that's by design. And so just on the energy piece alone, there are a number of things that schools can do to make their buildings more efficient that come with direct state subsidies. In addition to the state resources, we have a small grants program for municipalities that we hope to duplicate with schools. Any sponsors out there, any foundations or businesses that are interested, talk to Donna or I after the meeting. We've got lots of things that you could help fund. But we've given out 119 grants in the past 3 years to municipalities to implement a wide range of things. They decide what they want to implement, and a lot of these are very innovative things that become new actions within our program once they succeed. In addition to the grants, there are other incentives that are not financial. And again, we make it our business to celebrate success. We have a very big event at the League of Municipalities Conference every year. It's sort of like graduation where we confer the certifications onto the municipalities. And we hope to copy that and build on it, working with schools and going to workshop. I'll put in a plug for a workshop. Workshop's coming up. Everyone should be registered. So that's a big part of the success of the program. And to tee it into the second part of the agenda today, and what we're going to be asked to do here, is the process for creating the actions. And one of the reasons why, another one of the many reasons why this program is so successful is because of how we created the actions. We didn't just sit up here in the ivory tower and think through what we think that schools or towns ought to do. We organized initially what was 8 task forces. They multiplied. Now there's 22 task forces, and they are represented by academics, the nonprofit sector, the business community, state, local, federal, and county government, sort of all the people that you'd expect to play a role in defining what it is that municipalities can and should do, and helping to identify resources to help them make progress. And so the standards have a lot of legitimacy, and as a result of that, we've achieved significant alignment with other organizations. So again, if you look at a lot of the actions in Sustainable Jersey, you'll see that the existing New Jersey organizations who are leaders on those issues, they have either created the action, helped us create the action, or have aligned their work to help municipalities implement the action. So just for example, if you go down to the 4th bullet, Safe Routes to School, if municipalities implement that action, there are a lot of organizations, including transit management associations, a center at Rutgers, and the New Jersey Department of Transportation, that will help municipalities implement programs to do that. And in many cases, again, there will be grants to enable you to do that. So Sustainable Jersey is a big policy, resource, and priorities coordination effort. And here today, we are just starting that process with all of you to do the same thing with schools. And in closing, I'd like to thank our sponsors. I hope some of you in the room will become sponsors. This is a very important piece of the program. We get approximately 1/3 of our funding from state government, 1/3 from foundations, and 1/3 from the corporate sector. And we think that's very important because that means everybody's a stakeholder, but we also have the independence to do what we think is right on these standards. And so again, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors.